Hi there. Why is there so much fear surrounding the COVID-19 vaccination? Why do the vaccinated people mistrust the unvaccinated? Why do the unvaccinated mistrust the vaccinated? And why is it such a hot topic for the federal government? Come on, what's really going on? Don't you just wish that God could show up and tell us what he wants us to do? Well, God isn't who you think he is. He's going to let you make your own decisions. That's always the way he's been. The world's in turmoil because of the widespread COVID-19 virus. I mean, we all know that. But America is in greater turmoil because of the mandates from the federal government demanding its citizens to get vaccinated. This isn't the first time, though, that our history has included vaccinations for everybody in the country. Vaccinations have been required in the United States since 1850. That's a long time ago. And we did it to stop the spread of smallpox. You know, kids today still need proof of vaccinations in order to even go to school. So, what's the big difference this time? Well, the vaccinations that we've had for years have virtually eradicated smallpox, measles, mumps, whooping cough, tuberculosis, and even polio. America has been free from these diseases for decades. But the COVID-19 vaccine is just a little bit different. The vaccine doesn't prevent COVID. It mitigates the effect of it, and that saves lives. But it will not eradicate the virus. People really are seeking God to find out what the right thing is for them in this circumstance. To get the jab or not get the jab. The Bible talks about some things that often get taken out of context. The first is about something that should poison us, doesn't. And the second is about how it's not what we put in our bodies that God looks at, but rather what comes out of our hearts. The first example is a guy in the Bible named Paul. He was bitten by a snake. He was carrying a bundle of wood to a fire. And when he approached the fire, it got hot, obviously, and the snake jumped out and bit him. And it's affixed to his hand, and he just shook it off. And he wasn't harmed at all. It's also written that it's not what goes into the mouth that defiles a person, but what comes out of the mouth that defiles that person. Again, it's the condition of the heart. Whatever goes into your mouth passes into your stomach and it's eliminated. But what comes out of your mouth proceeds from your heart, and that's what can defile you. That's what can make you sick. For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, sexual immorality, theft, false witness, and slander. These are what defile a person. But to eat with unwashed hands, that's not going to defile you. What does all this have to do with the vaccine? Well, God is basically saying to us that there are a lot of things out in the world that can harm us. Snakes have venom that can kill us, sometimes not. Food can make us sick if we're allergic or if we overeat. Bacteria on our hands can give us disease. He wants us to have a common knowledge approach. We have to be sensible in dealing with this topic. But there's something even more important, and that's the condition of your heart. If your heart isn't right with God, it's going to be filled with evil thoughts and that whole litany of things that we just spoke about. But you have to believe and you have to think about how much more important you are to God than whether or not you get the jab. It's the condition of your heart that he's looking at, and that's what's important to him. One more word about God. A lot of people believe in a lot of different gods. Not us. We just believe in one God, the Father, and Jesus Christ, his Son, through whom all things came and through whom we live. But not everyone knows this. Some people believe that the vaccine is bad for them because their conscience is weak and they're defiled by that. Food does not bring us near to God. We are no worse if we do not eat and no better if we do. A vaccine or no vaccine does not bring us near to God. We're no worse if we do not get the jab, and we're no better if we do. But be careful, however, that the exercise of your freedom does not become a stumbling block to the weak. When you sin against your brothers in this particular manner and wound their weak conscience, you sin against God. Have we become a stumbling block? Oh my gosh, yes. We've all heard people literally screaming at other people because they were vaccinated or unvaccinated. We've heard what we believe to be credible science from both sides of the issue. How can that even be? Science is fact-based, but the vaccination issue seems to have a lot more to do with politics and opinion than it does fact. And people are confused. People are fearful. The anger we see today is a result of that fear. There doesn't seem to be any clear moral guideline anymore. People make it up as they go along. But the thing for you to remember is that whether or not you get the vaccine, do it without fear. If you get the vaccine, believe that you are the child of God and it won't harm you. If you don't get the vaccine, believe that you won't be harmed by COVID-19 because God is your healer. Either way, do it without fear because fear brings its own harm. So, where's the truth? Well, truth resides in God. And God has this to say about himself. He says, I'm the God who heals you. I'm the God. I am truth. I am love. God wants you well, but mostly he wants your heart to be pure. He wants you to love him, and he wants you to love your neighbor as yourself, vaxxed or unvaxxed. And that's who God really is.